Kathryn has a voracious appetite for men. This was how my friend Mike introduced me to his fiancée. She looked horrified, and so did I. I was like, Mike, why would you say that? What the hell? He looked right back at me. Kathryn, in the past 3 months, you've been on 50 dates. I took it, because you know what? It was actually closer to 100. Now, I joined Match.com after a series of pretty unhealthy relationships. I hadn't had a lot of boyfriends in my life, but all of them had cheated on me, and none of them had really ever done anything nice for me. And the last one was the worst. He was moody and jealous, and after we broke up, I took to drinking red wine alone on my parents' couch and watching chick flicks. Now, the weeks turned into a month, and I was on the verge of developing alcoholism, bed sores, and a large collection of cat toys. All my friends had some suggestions for me. They were, Kathryn, there are so many hot guys on Match.com. But I wasn't really ready to listen yet. I kind of took it, went back to the couch, took the wine, watch my movies. And that was actually where I saw the movie Julie and Julia. Now, if you're not familiar, Julie cooks a Julia Child recipe every day. And this somehow becomes like a blog, a book, and then a major motion picture starring Meryl Streep. And I needed an adventure. And I thought, I can do that. I can be Julie. I'm going to go on a Match.com date every single day and write a book called A Year of Eating for Free. Now, in the next morning, sober morning light, I called my friend Raleigh to come over and help me put together my profile, and I did a little math. 6 dates a week, that's 312 dates. Shit. Okay. I turned to her, you know, I'm just not gonna sleep with any of them. Who goes on Match.com not to have sex? No, this is different. I'm gonna be actually dating them. I didn't know the two were mutually exclusive. She pulled out some photos. Oh my God, this one's really hot. I looked over. It was my high school prom photo. I don't want to get pedos. I just want, like, a nice guy. She turned back. Well, I guess if you're not going to be having sex with them, you'll actually have to talk to them. Now, there were 2 major hurdles before I began my experiment. The first is, I hate when men pay for me. It makes me feel like a bitch, slut, and prostitute all at one time. But here, Raleigh actually stepped in with some helpful advice. She said, you're a really cheap date. I mean, your favorite food is Peruvian chicken, and you get drunk off a glass of red wine. That's like 20 bucks. You can't even get a hand job for 20 bucks. Now, my second problem was a little more subtle. And I realized it the day of my first Match.com date, because it wasn't just my first Match.com date. It was actually my first date ever with someone who I hadn't slept with already. I had no idea what we were going to talk about. But luckily, I'm actually awesome at first dates. I grew up in 6 different countries, and I speak a random African language. This is perfect for mindless first date banter. And as a poorly paid intern, I got over the guilt of payment issues really quickly. I kind of had this mantra, we're out to dinner, but I am not dessert. Which was a really good thing, because I went out with a lot of guys. I was actually keeping track of them by Excel spreadsheet. Yet, as I got on the bus that night with Eric after my date with Eric number 3, I sat down and I realized something. I felt really lonely. All I wanted to do was go home and curl up on the couch with someone and then preferably have sex with them. But at the same time, I knew there was no real point, because I wasn't gonna fall in love with the lawyer guy or Vermont dude, because I could, at that point, couldn't remember their real names. And that is actually exactly when I realized the whole idea of my book was preposterous, because I was missing out on the entire point of online dating, to eventually have sex. Now, I had realized I no longer wanted to have sex without dating a person. But on the other hand, dating without sex really sucks. So I got home that night, I logged onto my computer, and I canceled my dates for the next week. And then I took a nice, long, hot bath.